I'm good at generating ideas, and 9 out of 10 are absolutely useless. But then the 10th is maybe something, and I think that's important, that I can speak up and share those silly ideas, because I don't want to miss out on this one potential good idea. Our cells are full of proteins. Proteins fulfill all sorts of functions in the cell. Very often when we study a disease, there is one particular protein or enzyme that is very important to that disease, in the sense that if you inhibit that, you could really stop the disease. There's different ways of looking at your protein molecule. I use a technique called X-ray crystallography. Solving a crystal structure, as we call it when I build my protein models, is still magic to me, even though I've done it for so many years. When I build my models, we then look at it with the entire team, with the chemist, with the biologist, with the immunobiologist, with the pharmacologist, and they all have different views, and it all adds up to understanding how we can make our drug molecules better. I think those are recent developments that have made our job so much more impactful, because it is so visual and it really triggers the imagination. I absolutely love my job, honestly. I love doing experiments, I love thinking about science, I've got wonderful colleagues, but I also think it's very important to counterbalance that with something else. So I think it's very important to have mechanisms in place to switch off. For me, that is being at home, spending time with my girlfriend, going for walks with the dog, going for a run. It's only after a long run that everything goes quiet in my head. I absolutely love art, and I even believe that it makes me a better scientist. I read a quote somewhere: "Science helps us to understand the world, but art helps us to make sense of it all." And there's something to that. When I talk about my work, I very much talk about the science and the research. And what is important to remember is that ultimately this is about drugs that will really help and impact patients' life. And it's not always easy, because when you are working in the lab, you can always think of another experiment to do. And you have to remind yourself that you don't have all the time in the world, because there's people waiting there. And you could really make a difference